There is only one really serious philosophical question, and that is suicide. That is the opening line of a philosopher's most famous work. Not a warning, not a metaphor. A direct, unflinching question. Is life worth living at all? Albert Camus was a French philosopher, novelist, journalist, and political activist, recipient of the 1957 Nobel Prize in Literature, at just 44 years old, the second youngest in history. He grew up poor in French Algeria. He joined the French resistance during the war, editing an outlawed newspaper from hiding. And he spent his entire intellectual life wrestling with one brutal observation. The universe does not care about you. It offers no justice, no inherent meaning, no promise that good things happen to good people. And yet, somehow, Camus' answer was not despair. It was the opposite. This is where curiosity meets truth. To understand Camus, you need to understand one concept first: the absurd. For Camus, the absurd originates from a combination of two things: the way we want the world to be and the way the world actually is. We want fairness. We want evil punished and virtue rewarded. We want to understand why we're here and where we're going. But evil goes unpunished. Good deeds often go unrewarded. Good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. And we don't get answers. That gap between what we desperately want and what the universe actually gives us, that is the absurd. Not absurd like a joke. Absurd like watching a man talk on the telephone behind a glass partition. You cannot hear him, but you see his incomprehensible gestures, and you wonder why he is alive. It's the sudden, dizzying awareness that the routine you call your life has no built-in justification. The unreasonable silence of the universe in response to our need for meaning. Most people never notice this gap. Camus believed the moment you do notice it, everything changes. But here's where it gets truly interesting. Here is something that will surprise you if you watched our Kierkegaard video. Camus read Kierkegaard's Leap of Faith and rejected it completely. Kierkegaard sees life as profoundly absurd due to its central lack of meaning. He proposes that we take a leap of faith, believing in God will ultimately provide life with meaning. Camus opposed this form of escapism, claiming that existentialists deify what crushes them and find reason to hope in what impoverishes them. That is a direct philosophical attack on the very idea we explored together just a few weeks ago. Camus called this philosophical suicide. Not literal death, but intellectual surrender. Inventing a god, a destiny, a greater plan, anything, to avoid sitting inside the discomfort of meaninglessness. Camus claims the realization of the absurd does not justify suicide, and instead requires revolt. Not religious faith, not philosophical despair. A third option most people never consider: revolt. Staying fully alive, fully aware that nothing is guaranteed, and refusing both the leap and the surrender. If this is already shifting something, you know what to do. Subscribe button is right there. So what does revolt actually look like? Camus answers with a myth. Sisyphus was condemned by the gods to repeat forever the same meaningless task, pushing a boulder up a mountain, only to watch it roll down again just as it nears the top. This is the most complete metaphor for modern life Camus could find. The workman of today works every day in his life at the same tasks, and this fate is no less absurd. But it is tragic only at the rare moments when it becomes conscious. Most people push their boulder without ever truly noticing it. Wake, commute, work, commute, sleep, repeat, for 40 years. Sisyphus is different. Sisyphus knows. Camus is interested in Sisyphus's thoughts when marching down the mountain to start anew. I see that man going back down with a heavy yet measured step toward the torment of which he will never know the end. And here is the genius of Camus' conclusion. By becoming conscious of his fate, Sisyphus takes ownership of it. He reshapes his fate into a condition of wholly human origin. The boulder doesn't change. The mountain doesn't change. But Sisyphus's relationship to his task changes completely the moment he stops waiting for it to mean something and simply owns it as his own. The struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Camus didn't only write philosophy. He put the absurd into fiction with his novel, The Stranger. Meursault, the protagonist, has lived his existence from one moment to the next without much awareness, until after committing an inexplicable murder, at his trial, and while awaiting execution, he becomes fully conscious of himself and his terrible fate. He will die triumphant as the absurd man. This is the same arc as Sisyphus, fictionalized. A man who lived numbly, sleepwalking through his own existence, finally becomes fully awake to his condition only when facing death directly. Camus is making the same argument through two completely different stories. Consciousness of your condition is not a curse. It is the only form of freedom available to a finite being in an indifferent universe. You cannot control whether the universe makes sense. You can control whether you are awake to your own life while you live it. On the 4th of January 1960, Albert Camus died in a car accident. He was 46 years old. He reportedly had a train ticket in his pocket that day. He chose the car instead. There is a brutal, almost too perfect irony in a philosopher of the absurd dying in exactly the kind of meaningless, arbitrary accident his entire philosophy had prepared him for. No grand design, no justice, no warning. Just an ordinary road, on an ordinary day, ending an extraordinary life. Camus would not have called this tragic in the way we usually mean tragic. He would have called it absurd, in the precise technical sense he spent his life trying to teach us. And his final answer to that absurdity remains the most defiant piece of philosophy of the 20th century. The universe will never explain itself to you. It owes you nothing. But you can still choose to push the boulder, to stay conscious, to find the climb itself worth living for. Not because it leads anywhere, because you decided it would. Here's your question for the comments. If you knew with total certainty that life had no inherent meaning, would you keep pushing your boulder? Drop your honest answer below. This is the question Camus built his entire philosophy around. New Philosophy Explainer every Wednesday on Chasing Sunsets. Subscribe and hit the bell. Curious minds don't miss this one. This is where curiosity meets truth. See you next Wednesday.